Okay. I wanted to go ahead and make a new character in Final Fantasy XIV. This is the kind of game that actually benefits from having a an alt. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take a quick, kind of like episode zero kind of thing, just to get a character set up. Now, I have an idea for what I want to do for my alt, what I want my character to be. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. So I do want it to be a Rogadin. Not a very common choice these days. And the reason for that is because I want to make a cute Rogadin. So we're going to go ahead and choose a Rogadin. I think personally I wanted a Hell's Guard. Let's read the lores. I like kind of having. I don't really roleplay too much, but I do still like to have character stories, I guess. So it's like while I'm building them, I like to have kind of a story in mind about what I want that character to become. It's a role playing game, so I like to role play through the story, even if I don't really like role play with other people. Um, I still would like to be able to say this is my character. If I if I like get art of them, I want to be able to like give them a little bit of a story. Just be like, hey, this is who they are. This is how they act. Just so we can put a little bit more, we can inject a little bit more personality into them. So let's see, what was I wanting to do? Okay, so up here I'm going to pull up a Rogadin name structure guide. So that way I don't necessarily have to go with the randomized names, just because those are a little bit common. I'm a big fan of is etymology? Is that the word? Basically, the structure of words. I'm a big fan of etymology through names, um, and a lot of games like this tend to have a somewhat detailed etymology to them. And so, personally, I like to just kind of adhere to that a little bit. So, let's read our things. Long ago, no vessel or coastal village was safe from the fury of the sea wolves and their maritime brand of brutality. The mere mention of the clan was enough to strike fear into the hearts of any who drew their livelihood from the sea. The sea wolves originally hail from the islands of the far North Seas, where they still subsist as fishermen and women. It was not until the large scale deployment of Limsa armada that the sea wolves' appetite for piracy diminished. Now, it is not uncommon to see them employed as sailors or naval mercenaries on all manner of vessels. However, they have never forgotten the ways of their homeland and still use the ancient Rogan language in their names. Okay. The Hellsguard are a Rogan clan with body and mind tempered by the unforgiving heat of the volcanic regions they inhabit. Believing these mountains of flame to be gates to the underworld, their line has for centuries stood vigil to prevent the passage of souls back to the realm of the living. As the harsh environs of their homelands produce little sustenance, the second and third born are often sent forth from their mountain villages, which many and more making their way to the great cities. It is there that their sheer girth and steely demeanors place them in high demand as soldiers and sellswords, allowing the young of even the largest families to surpass their elder siblings in prosperity. So Hellsguard definitely seems the most like apt. Not going to lie. I think I want most of my fishing to be done on my main. I don't really see much of a reason to fish on my alt. So the bit about being fishermen and women doesn't necessarily apply to the character that I want to create here. So I do think Hellsguard is the route that I want to go. Like I said, I want them to be like this big, fucking burly guy, but we're gonna be wearing cute fucking clothes. So I'm gonna be chiseled as hell. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe not like 100% chiseled, just because we're not lying. Ooh, I do really like the structure of Rogadin's faces. They look kind of lion-esque. Like they've got the little like lion nose there. Love that. Now, of course, we've got Hrothgar in this game, which are traditional like lion people. Kind of liking this for our kind of starting palette. I do like braids a lot. Ooh. I like the more traditional braids here. I like that one a lot. We're going to pin that. We're going to put a pin in that one. I like that one. But I don't think I like it more than the one that we have pinned. That's not half bad. Big fan of the pompadour. Maybe not for this character. Ooh. I do like that longer hair a lot. Okay, and then I do want to include... not that one. I thought there were other ones with that forehead gem, but I guess not. That's a shame. I really like the forehead gem. Not gonna lie. Okay, so I've got the ones that I like. I'm really liking this one. I gotta be honest. I really want the forehead gem, but I really don't like how it's reserved for like balding hairstyles. Very unfortunate. And I do like the longer hair. I think right now it's between the longer hair with the shaved sides and I think I like the braided. We're going to go with the braided. Ooh, that purple. I like that purple a lot. We're going to go with the purple. What about highlights? Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, that's fucking sick. Okay. I'm a big fan of purple. And I think it complements the skin tone really well, personally. Maybe I'm dumb. Who knows? I am pretty dumb, not gonna lie. However, I do like how the brighter purple kind of... I just like how that... Maybe not that bright. I'm thinking one of these two. I do like how this one stands out a little bit more. At the same time, the darker feels a little bit more natural, I guess. So what are we feeling? I think I like how that blends in just a little bit more. Want to be super chiseled, super manly. Ugh. Like I said, big fan of purple, so we're just gonna go with purple. Kind of like the droopy nose. Between 4 and 3. Or 6 and 3, rather. Let's go with 6. Not really feeling a lip color. I'm not gonna lie. Ooh, I like this a lot. Feels like a good compliment with the hair. Not really feeling much face paint. Although... Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, I think we're good on the makeup. Ooh. I do like the hardy old man kind of feel. Very Uncle Iroh-esque. Yeah, I'm liking that one a lot. Liking that one a lot. Are these all Gradania and then just one Limsa? Oh, there we go. Dude, I'm loving this. I think we got to keep her here. I'm a massive fan of this. Let me double check to make sure I'm getting the right server, because I know what server I want this to be on. I'm thinking a May 19th. I'm a big Ocean believer, just because I feel like the god of adventuring or wandering makes the most sense for an adventurer. And I feel like that's kind of the point of the adventurer. Um, that said, I want to give them all a fair shake. Halone, mover of glaciers and goddess of war, is the guardian deity of Ishgard. She commands the element of ice and is associated with the first moon of the Eorzean calendar. Halone is the daughter of Rhaegar and a bitter rival of Nofika. She's the most often depicted as a relentless warrioress armed with a bronze great shield. Her symbol is the three spears. Now, see, that feels a little on the nose. Um, Again, my guy's gonna be a little not what meets the eye. Um, so that feels a little on the nose. So we'll probably not go with Halone. Yes, they are on Rafflesia. Menfina is the keeper of the moon and the goddess of love. She commands the element of ice and is associated with the second moon of the Eorzean calendar. Menfina is the sister of Azema and the divine lover of Ocean. She is most often depicted as a maid carrying a round skillet. Her symbol is the full moon. I'm liking that one. We might be going with Menfina. Thaliak, ruler of rivers and wisdom and god of knowledge, is the guardian deity of Sharlayan. He commands the element of water and is associated with the third moon of the Eorzean calendar. Thaliak is the father of Limlane and the teacher of Byergot. He's most often depicted as a reserved scholar holding an ashen staff. His symbol is the scroll. Naimia is the watcher of celestial bodies and goddess of fate. She commands the element of water and is associated with the fourth moon of the Eorzean calendar. Naimea is the younger sister of Althic and master of Rhaegar. She's most often depicted as a weaver donning a white silken veil. Her symbol is the spinning wheel. Limlene, watcher of the seas and goddess of navigation, is the guardian deity of Limsa. She commands the element of wind as an associated with the fifth moon of the Eorzean calendar. Limlene is the daughter of Thaliak and the elder sister of Nofika. She is most often depicted as a strong fisherwoman wielding a long-bladed harpoon. Her symbol is the wave. I like that a lot, just for the navigation bit. I like wind as an element a lot, and I like the idea of it being navigation. Ocean, like I said, is the ruler of the mountains and the god of travels and vagrants. He commands the element of wind and is associated with the sixth moon of the Eorzean calendar. Ocean is the brother of Naltal and the close companion of Halone. He's most often depicted as a carefree ranger wielding a bow of yew. His symbol is the walking stick. It's just that feels exactly what I want it to be, not gonna lie. Byergot is the purveyor of architecture and industry and god of the arts. He commands the element of lightning and is associated with the seventh moon of the Eorzean calendar. Byergot is the elder brother of Halone and pupil of Thaliak. He is most often depicted as an ardent smith with a two-headed hammer. His symbol is the hand. Rhaegar, breaker of worlds, is the god of destruction and guardian deity of the now fallen nation of Alamigo. He commands the element of lightning and is associated with the eighth moon of the Eorzean calendar. Rhaegar is the father of Byergot and Halone. It serves as to my Naimia. He's most often depicted as a magus carrying a staff of bronze. His symbol is the streaking meteor. Azema is the keeper of the sun and goddess of inquiry. She commands the element of fire and is associated with the ninth moon of the Eorzean calendar. Azema is the daughter of Althic and the elder sister of Menfina. She is often depicted as a noble lady holding a golden fan. Her symbol is the radiant sun. Naltal, overseer of the underworld and god of commerce, is the guardian deity of Ul'dah. He commands the element of fire and is associated with the 10th moon of the Eorzean calendar. Naldthal is a single manifestation of the deific twins Nald and Thal. He's most often depicted as a discerning merchant holding a balance. His symbol is the Kauri and an ancient shell currency. Nofika, tender of soils and harvest and goddess of abundance, is the guardian deity of Gridania. She commands the element of earth and is associated with the 11th moon of the Eorzean calendar. Nofik is the daughter of Azema and the younger sister of Limlin. She is most often depicted as a jubilant farmer holding a scythe of steel. Her symbol is the spring leaf. I like that one a lot too. Althig is the surveyor of change and space and god of time. He commands the element of earth and is associated with the 12th moon of the Eorzean calendar. Althig is the father of Azema and Nymphina, an elder brother to Nymea. He is most often depicted as an austere emperor wielding a mithril great axe. His symbol is the hourglass. I want like a wise kind of like, because we're going for like an older kind of gentleman. So I'm wanting him to be like a wise older man. And I think I want patience and understanding to be his main like virtues. So I'm kind of thinking either Thaliak or Althik. Althik for like the patience. Thaliak for like the wizened old man. I don't think I want him to be like a scholar though, so I'm kind of leaning away from Thaliak because I feel like Thaliak is more for like for the Sharlians. I feel like the Sharlians, like the sort of like the university, the scholars of the world. I feel like that would be more their kind of like patron deity. So I'm kind of thinking I'm going to go with Althik because I want him to be like a reserved kind of old man. Basically, his wisdom comes through his age, and he's patient, and he's willing to kind of like think things through, a little bit more of a strategist because he puts the time and thought into his thinking. I feel like that feels smart. So I think that's what we are going to do. Gonna go with Gladiator. I think Ul'dah is the most, I would say, canon of the starting locations. So I'm going to try to start in Ul'dah. Plus, I feel like it makes the most sense for the character that we've created. Some other classes I would like him to be kind of adept in would be maybe like a pugilist, which again is Ul'dah. Lancer could be fun. Marauder could be fun. Just because he is a big, burly guy. Like, I feel like tanking jobs make sense for him. But honestly, I feel like those are the only two that I want him to be. Archer could be fun. Archer is my main on Isak, my main character. So that is just one that I kind of lean into just a little bit, just because that's the class that I know the most. That said, I still feel like it fits his character. I feel like a strategist makes sense as an archer. Thaumaturge, I could see that as well. I won't lie, the casting classes aren't my favorite. But I am interested in trying out Summoner. I leveled up Summoner by leveling up Scholar. So I'm actually very unfamiliar with the workings of Summoner. So I will probably pick up Arcanist at some point. Plus, I feel like Scholar and Summoner makes sense for the character that I want to make. Maybe not necessarily Summoner, but like Scholars are tacticians. They are known for basically gaining a command of the battlefield, and basically they do something called shield healing. They make it so that attacks hurt less in advance of them happening. So it kind of plays a role in the grand scheme of what I want him to be. I want him to be somewhat of a strategist. I want him to know the battlefield. So Scholar is going to make sense. However, because I've done Scholar, I will probably end up leveling it through Summoner, just because that's the only class that I don't really have any proper experience with. That said, like I was saying, we're going to go with Gladiator. It easily makes the most sense for this character. He's large. He is strategic, so he's going to be leading the pack a little bit. So I think Gladiator makes the most sense, as well as just fitting his overall design. Okay, so one place I've already messed up is... Unfortunately, I have chosen a data center which does not contain... I've chosen a data center which does not contain... Okay, good. So he is on there. Basically, I'm in the wrong data center, so I'm going to quit out of here. I went ahead and saved my character's design, and now that we know what we want... So it looks like I'm looking for Rafflesia, which is on Dynamis, which is going to be pretty rough skis for Qs. But I think that's okay. So thankfully we can just load appearance data. There's the character I've already made. The correct voice is already picked and everything. So perfect. Don't need to save appearance data just because it's already saved. January, February, March, April, May. And we were going to do 19th. And we will go with Althic again and Gladiator again. I do like the idea of Kuka Lane. However, my friends that I would like to play with are on Rafflesia. So we will choose Rafflesia. Okay, so now it comes to choosing our name. And this is why I went ahead and pulled up a sort of naming guide. A descriptor and a noun for Hellsguard. Okay, so Hellsguard are actually really easy to name. Basically just an adjective and a noun. So let's see. So we want him to more or less be... So because his patron deity is Althik, which is associated with Earth, I think I want his surname to be Mountain. So what's a fun adjective we could use that would kind of show off his... I liked the sound of austere, but it's not quite the word I'm looking for. I want something that kind of means like old and wizened. Sagacious. I like sagacious a lot. Discerning. We're going to go with sagacious. I did spell that right correctly. I did spell that right correct. Sagacious Mountain. But is mountain the word I want to go with? I feel like it's the right word just because a mountain is like tall and imposing and kind of in the way, blocking the elements a bit. Especially in a region like Old Daw, where a mountain is more barren. I think we're going to go with Sagacious Mountain. Yep, we're going to begin a new game with this character. So, before I do this, I would like to show just the movie I want.
Heideland. A vibrant planet blessed by the light of the crystal. Amid azure seas, encompassing the westernmost of the 3 great continents, there lies a realm embraced by gods and forged by heroes. Her name, Eorzea. The annals of Eorzean history chart the rise of a succession of great civilizations, each one enjoying an age of peace, the Astral Eras. To date, all have proven ephemeral. In the year 1572 of the 6th and most recent Astral Era, The Northern Empire of Garlemald amassed a great army at the heart of Eorzea, seeking dominion over all. Rising in desperate resistance, the forces of the Eorzean Alliance met their would-be conquerors in the field. Yet, even as the battle raged, the lesser moon, Dalamud, was plucked from the heavens through imperial machination. From its core emerged the elder primal Bahamut, who unleashed his fury upon the realm. The devastation brought Eorzea to its knees and the era to its end. 5 years have come and gone. The light of life still shines upon Eorzea. Man labors tirelessly to raise himself from the calamity's ruin. The realm is forever changed, a stranger to him once more. Yet heedless of what lies ahead, he shall press on. Spurred by the promise of peace and prosperity. Amid this period of great change, an adventurer arrives in Eorzea, one whose tale is yet unwritten. May he ever walk in the light of the crystal.
Okay, so I really wanted to show off that real quick because that's sort of the exposition for our story. And one thing I also would like to show is the Realm-Reborn demo. So that is our introduction movie for A Realm Reborn. Basically, what you saw more or less was outlined in the opening movie. Um, Basically, Garlemald, the big bad guys of the game, and especially of 1.0, uh, had led this sort of final assault in which they dropped the second moon of the world. And whenever they did so, uh, the Elder Primal Bahamut came out and fucked everything up. Like, everything up. And the only reason why our Warriors of Light made it out was because of the brave sacrifice of Louis Soir. Um, he teleported us out of there, and that entire event is called the Calamity, I believe. It's been a minute since I've done some early game stuff, so I might have to be refreshed on some names. But that is going to be an event that is referred to a lot here at the start of the story. And the people as a whole do not have a very vivid recollection of what happened. Basically, everything after us being teleported, no one remembers. We don't know what happened. We just know that somehow our people are about as alive as they could be, given a full frontal assault from some very, basically just villainous empire. And we don't know why Bahamut's gone. We don't know any of that stuff. Um, we just know that the Warriors of Light saved us. So, we've made our character. We've made Sagacious Mountain already, as you guys saw. So let us go ahead and get into the world of Final Fantasy XIV. This will probably be a shorter episode just because this is meant to be sort of just the start of our story. I wanted to build our character, kind of give us a chance to know who our character is as a whole, and then maybe do a little bit of the beginning of the story. I apologize for my cough. I'm just getting over some kind of sickness that I'm not been a fan of, and the cough has been very persistent. For voiced cutscenes, I will mute, and for unvoiced cutscenes, I will do my best to narrate them. I'm by no means a voice actor or anything to that extent. However, I would like to entertain whatever viewers I can gain and basically make this as pleasant as an experience as I can. There will be a lot of reading. My voice will get very tired.
Here. Here. Feel.
Hey! Hey, you! You alright, lad? You were moaning something fierce for a while there. Feeling the effects of the aether, I reckon? You'll get used to it, though, don't worry. You there! Halt! What's this all about? Inspection. Men, search the carriage. I'm just a honest peddler, friend, so don't be too disappointed if you don't find nothing, eh? Mind your tongue, old man, lest I cut it out. Sir, look. Somnus. Honest peddler, was it? Since when do honest peddlers deal in prohibited herbs? You're in a lot of trouble, old man. You'll run a dungeon till the end of your days. Unless you can afford the fine. Business as usual. Ah! Amalja! Amalja! To arms! To arms! Seven hells. Consider this a warning. Now go! All of you. Ooh, kind of excitement ain't good for the heart. You be careful around them blast blades, lad. Bastards will have the shirt off your back if they fancy it. Like common bandits they are, only less honest. Thank the gods for sending some beastmen to the rescue, eh? Hey, seeing as we still got a long ride ahead, you mind keeping me company till we arrive? Them young'uns don't much care for conversation, see? Brent's the name, and peddling's my trade. Judging by your unusual garments, I'll wager you're one of them new adventurers. I knew it. Going wherever the wind blows, seeking fortune and glory. Now that's what I call living. So long as you can avoid dying, I mean. Ain't no secret that adventuring's a risky business. These days especially. What was it that first attracted you to it? I'm gonna say to win glory. I don't really like any of these answers, honestly. Honestly, just seeing the world would be what would draw me to it personally. I feel like to gain power is probably the closest to to experience the world. Because with experience comes power. And that said, I'm gonna go and say to win glory, I guess. Not my favorite answer, but we'll go with it. Glory, eh? If you're willing to take on them tasks as other folk ain't, adventurers such as yourself can win fame what coin can't buy. When you arrive in town, you'll want to report to the Adventurers Guild. You can find out everything you need to know about the adventuring business in there. Just remember, though, there are more important things than fortune and glory, such as breathing. Ain't no profit in being dead. That's a fact. And by the by, is this your first trip to Old Daw? Nope. Nope. But of course it ain't. Still, it might be as this journeyed itinerant has a few new things to teach you about your destination. Well, Daw's ruled by the Sultana in name, but as most folk know, the Syndicate holds all the real power. Them and their monetarist cronies would happily get rid of her grace altogether, but that won't happen while she still commands the loyalty of the Royalists, and the Royalists are nothing if not loyal. These factions have long fought over power, throwing the weight of their wealth against each other, and they show no sign of stopping. Of course, the Lizardmen, that's the Amalja, couldn't care less about Old Dawn politics. They have their own interests, see, and they ain't afraid to use force to serve them. They say war is a gift to peddlers. Need breed and profit. And though it shames me to say it, I'm inclined to agree. Ah, at long last. Behold Ul'dah, jewel of Thanalin, where folk turn sand into gold.
Deep in the sun-baked south, surrounded by the shifting sands of an endless desert, she rises. A solitary rose amidst the dust and rock, a symbol of defiance. Her name, Ul'dah. Even with the coming of the seventh umbral era, hope springs eternal for the mongers and merchants who vie for lost fortunes in this bustling oasis. As the twin faces of Nold Thal maintain their vigil over all that has been and shall be, the present proffers a brave soul. One whose arrival could mark the beginning of a new era of prosperity for the realm.
And here's where we part ways, lad. I'm off to the markets to deliver me wares, and then it's on the high road for me. Here, I want to have this. A way of thanks for putting up with me, prattle. You never did tell me your name, though. Hey, but here's an idea. Become the sort of storied personage I can brag about having met, and I'll consider us square.
May the traders nurture our fortunes as they kindle the flames which burn within us all. For by fire are we reborn.
Oi, venturer, over here. Aye, I mean you. Fresh off the carriage by any chance, eh? How can I tell? Name's Waymond. My business is knowing every bugger else's. Now then, what if I was to offer you some invaluable advice by way of welcome to our fair city? Free of charge, even. Just this once, like. Welcome to Ul'dah, the shining beacon of prosperity rising from the deserts of Thanalin. Please select the control scheme you wish to use. Eventually, I want this to be a way for me to learn mouse and keyboard. I ordered me a nice, nifty little keyboard coming in, and I've heard it works pretty well with PC, and that mouse and keyboard is the preferred control scheme. However, I am using a gamepad right now, and I did not think about that. So for now, I'm just going to choose gamepad. However, I will probably let this be a way for me to... as a way for me to sort of familiarize myself with how mouse and keyboard works. So I'll choose gamepad for now, and then going forward, you will probably see me be using mouse and keyboard. Follow the instructions, move your character, and adjust the position of the camera. When you are ready to proceed, speak to Women. Tis plain to anyone with eyes that you don't know your way around here. If I let you go wandering off down the nearest darkest alley, you're certain to get mugged or worse, and I don't want that on my conscience. So before you do anything else, you want to head over to the quicksand and speak with Momodi. She's the master of the Adventurers Guild and can set you on the right path. Just take those steps over yonder and pass through the double doors. You'll find her inside. That's as much as you're getting for free. Good luck with the adventure and adventurer. You've begun a quest. Use the duty list to help you complete your task. So I can't even use sprint yet. If you're looking to mingle with folk from all over, then the quicksand is the place for you. Complete a quest by speaking to the NPC with a check mark displayed above his or her head. Completing quests will earn you a variety of rewards, from items and guild to experience points. Why, hello there. Who might you be? If you're looking to join the Adventurers Guild, you've come to the right place. Name's Momodi, and I own this fine establishment, if it please you. I also manage the Adventurers Guild here in Ul'dah, so you might say that looking after green adventurers like yourself is my vocation. And lucky for you that it is. Without someone like me to steer you right, you'd soon find yourself out in the middle of nowhere, caught up in business you don't understand. Like our conflict with the Amalja, for example. They've been plaguing the Sultanate for nigh on forever now. Then there's the Garlean Empire. None can say for sure what they're plotting these days, only that they are. Aye, the people drink and make merry, but underneath it all, there's worry. Worry and a lingering feeling of loss. And little wonder. It's scarce been 5 years since the Lesser Moon cracked open like a giant egg, releasing an abomination intent on turning the realm into an eighth hell. So much was lost in the blink of an eye. It was like the end of the world had come at last. But then things began to get foggy. Everyone's got their own version of what happened next. Some of them 2 or 3. You'd think people would remember something like that. But the fact is, they don't. Nobody does. There is one thing the survivors agree on, though. The part played by a band of adventurers who laid down their lives for a realm that wasn't their own. They fought valiantly, and like so many others, they never returned. Deeds worth remembering, I'm sure you'll agree. It's just a shame our recollections of those brave heroes are as jumbled as those of the Calamity itself. Whenever we try to call their faces to mind, it's like they're standing between us and the midday sun, permanently silhouetted. I'll bet that sounds poetic to you, doesn't it? Well, it's not. It's bloody infuriating. But even if we can't remember them, we'll not let them be forgotten, and so we call them the Warriors of Light. And they'll forever stand as a shining example of what adventurers can achieve. That's why I welcome new arrivals like yourself to our fair city. All I ask is that you lend a helping hand and try to leave Ul'dah in a better state than you found her. If you can promise that, I'd be happy to let you join the guild. Alright then, a promise is a promise now. I'm counting on your help to put the past behind us. We need people working and spinning and bickering like the old days. And a happy and prosperous Ul'dah means more business for the quicksand too. Any road, let's make this official. Go ahead and write your name in the register, neat as you can. Sagacious Mountain. Well, ain't that a charming name? Just rolls off the tongue, it does. All right, Mr. Mountain. On behalf of the Adventurers Guild, I officially. Please, sir, be merciful. 12 is my witness. I swear to you, I'll bring you your money. In the East, it is said that even a merciful god might be driven to vengeance if thrice blasphemed. Be grateful you were given a fourth chance to offend. You two, attend to this scum. No, please. Mercy. Well, ain't that a sorry sight? Nor an uncommon one, if I'm honest. Don't worry, though. If you work hard, I doubt you'll end up like him. Just the same, if you ever need a bit of advice about one thing or another, pay me a visit. Just don't go bothering me every time you stub your bloody toe, alright? Of course, I do enjoy hearing tell of a gentleman's woes with the women folk from time to time. Any road, welcome to Old Sagacious. Take a moment to catch your breath, and I'll teach you a little about our fair city. This concludes the introductory game tutorial. You have taken the first steps in adventure in the city of Ul'dah. Listen well to the wisdom of Momodi Modi, then go forth and discover the incredible adventures that await you. Okay. So a lot of what we'll be looking for are these meteor kind of quest icons here. Basically, those are the main story quests, the MSQ. They will be what we want to follow in order to progress the story. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit more time in here. Probably give it about 10 more minutes or so, depending on where we're at. I would like to get my class. I mean, I have my class, but I would like to get my... I'd like to get my sort of my class quest started. Momodi, the proprietress of the Quicksand, wants you to perform 3 tasks that will help you learn the fundamentals of adventuring. Before you go charging off to find your fortune, I have a few basic tasks I'd like you to perform so as to help you get to know the place. First of all, I want you to visit the Aetheryte Plaza. To get there, head west from here till you reach Emerald Avenue. Then look to the north. You should see a giant floating crystal called an Aetheryte. If it weren't for Aetherites, traveling around Eorzea would be a damn sight more troublesome than it is. Of course, you still need to attune with them before you can use them, so be sure to do that with the one in the plaza. You ever attuned with an Aetheryte before, Sagacious? If not, just lay your hand on the thing and you'll see what I mean. When you've done that, I want you to pay a visit to the Gladiators Guild over at the Coliseum. Assuming that sword ain't just for show, you might be considering training there. And finally, I want you to visit the Sapphire Avenue Exchange over on the steps of Thal. Goods from all across Eorzea and beyond turn up there every day. You'll have no trouble finding armor, weapons, or anything else a fledgling adventurer like yourself might need. You might say that everything's for sale here in Ul'dah, as long as you've got the gil. Just make sure as you don't pay more than you ought, Sagacious. There's plenty as won't scruple to swindle unsuspecting foreigners like yourself, especially if they think no one's looking out for their best interests. Which is why I'm giving you this letter. When you visit the exchange, find a gentleman named Cesaroga, and give it to him. He'll be happy to tell you about the markets once he's read it. In short, then, Visit the Aetheryte Plaza, the Gladiators Guild, and the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. Simple. Oh, but before you go, a word of advice. While there's more than a few unsavory characters out there who will try to take advantage of you, there are also some with honest to goodness problems who you should consider offering a helping hand to. A lot of folk are lured to the city by the promise of wealth and power. What many of them fail to realize is that instead of chasing after Gil the moment they get here, they ought to be making friends. Let it be known that you're willing to give as much as you get, and opportunities will come your way. Speaking of which, you should speak with the smith over yonder. Those lads always have some good advice for up and coming adventurers. Otherwise, that's about it from me. It's past time you got going. Oh, and let me know when you've finished, will you? And that way I won't spend my days worrying that you're down to your small clothes without a Gil your name. Okay, so for now we're not going to talk to the smith. That is basically just a tutorial. I will be doing all of them. However, there will be some things that I do off stream just because they won't necessarily make for the best content, so to speak. So, for now, I would like to do oh, shoot. I would like to do this quest. Ooh. Okay, so that's gonna make some things difficult. Let's go ahead and put sprint back on the hotbar. We're not gonna use that side just yet, so we will hold off on that. For the most part, what I will be doing on stream will probably be more along the lines of. So these kinds of quests I will probably do on my own. They are basically quests that familiarize you with the area. They are filler quests like go kill so many monsters, go grab so many drops from them. Um, they're the less important quests, so to speak. Quests like this are the ones that I want to do. They are red right now, but eventually they get kind of the same color, but they'll have a blue background instead of that kind of like brownish, blackish one, and they've got that plus on them. Those quests are considered basically narratively important. Now, some of them are just getting new classes. Like this one is picking up one of the trades, weaving. And this one is goldsmithing. But there are some that will unlock content, such as like dungeons, fights, trials, all kinds of things like that. So those will be the ones that I want to focus on doing on stream. I will probably be doing various levelings off stream. So, for instance, I will probably level my weaver. Like, for example, I will. So, I want to do all of the quests. That is my goal with this character. I want to do all of the important quests so that way I can provide the most like narratively complete experience. Um, Even though you really don't have to be a weaver to get everything out of this game, there are elements of the weaver that carries over to other parts of the game. So I would like to show all of those class quests and just let some of these kind of smaller quests be off stream. That way I'm not kind of wasting your guys' time with them. Um, Maybe I'll find some way to kind of do a workaround so that way we can get the full experience. But for now, I'm going to work on completing this main story quest, and we will call it there. So here's Ciceroga, and you are a newly come adventurer. But of course, yes, I'm Ciceroga. What can I do for you? Ah, you would have me teach you the ways of the marketplace? Very wise. And as for my fee? What? You expect me to do it for free? Surely you jest. My dear adventurer, when you ask an old Don for a favor, you should at least try to make it worth his while. Judging by your garb, I rather doubt you could afford my services, but the fact you offer nothing is laughable. Oh, Mistress Momodi instructed you to seek me out, did she? Consider yourself fortunate to have such influential friends. I shall be brief, and you shall be attentive. You stand in the Sapphire Avenue Exchange, the busiest and most profitable marketplace in the Sultanate. Being advantageously situated in relation to other city-states, Ul'Dah's markets have ever served as both the literal and figurative centers of Eorzean commerce. All the great overland trade routes lead to our city, and the majority of maritime trade between Vilbrand and Aldenard passes through our ports. Because of this, countless companies and consortia have chosen Ul'Dah as their base of operations. They see to it that this marketplace is awash with merchants and money lenders, day and night. Anything a man could ever desire can be purchased here, provided as he has sufficient funds. Surely there's something you seek, adventurer. A deadlier sword, perhaps a shinier trinket? Whatever it is you want, the exchange will have it. To the north, you will find merchants peddling armor and accessories, curatives and crafting materials. And to the south, you will find weapons, tools, and an assortment of other useful items for sale. Seek out a particular merchant or browse to your heart's content, but do try to remain aloof should you find something that piques your interest. Decisions made in the heat of a moment are usually unwise, especially where coin is concerned. That is all the complimentary aid you shall have from me, and far too much for my taste. My regards to Momodi. Now, off with you. Nope. So these little Aethernet shards, they are very helpful. We want to attune to those as we kind of gallivant through the city as well. They're basically just a quick travel method. Now have access to the Aethernet. Quick travel throughout the city can be achieved by simply placing your hand upon Aethernet shards. So now, if I double click on the Aethernet shard, I can choose between any of the various Aethernet shards in Ul'Dah. And I would be able to fast travel between them, assuming I'd unlocked them. So for now, we can't really utilize that. I need it. Actually, I think that's Reaper. I need Viper. Viper is the one that... There it is. Enter the Viper. So for our next task, we want to go to the Aetherite Plaza. Same deal, the Aetherite kind of acts as a way to fast travel between the city. However, some of the other things you can do with an Aetherite include teleporting between the different cities, and it's sort of a respawn point for if you die out in the world. Hail, adventurer. Might you have come at the behest of Miss Momodi of the Quicksand? Excellent. Which brings us to the matter of the attunement fee. And that will be 100,000 gil, if you please, sir. Apologies, but I do so relish the opportunity to make that jest. The look on your face was absolutely priceless. Ah, but the fact that you were so easily deceived suggests to me that you are unfamiliar with the use of aetherites. Allow me to explain. These crystalline agglomerations tap into ethereal energies and are primarily used as a means to travel swiftly from one place to another. Perchance you have heard of return and teleport? Well, those transportation spells make direct use of the aetherites and their connection to the flow of aether. Given that there is an aetherite in almost every corner of Eorzea, any adventurer with a mind to explore the realm will wish to seek out and attune himself to each and every one. But even if you have no intention of wandering beyond the Sultanate's borders, it would be prudent for you to attune yourself to any aetherites you encounter from now on. I pray you found that informative. Should you wish to learn more about Aetherites or transportation magic, I should be happy to answer your questions. Return learned. You attune with the Aetherite. You are now able to use the return spell. Cool! Way of the Samurai. Enter the Viper. I need it. I need it. I need Viper. It is my second favorite job. Probably tied for favorite, honestly. I'm a big fan of both Viper and Bard. So I'm a big dexterity boy. Going to tune here. It's not quite where we were going, but we'll go ahead and tune there anyway. Again, the more of those places that you attune to, the better. Going to tune to this Aetherite, especially since it's next to the Gladiators Guild. That's going to be where we will be doing a lot of our early game job quests. So we'll go and talk to Lulutsu. Welcome to the Gladiators Guild, friend. Tell me, are you new to the thrills of Mortal Kombat? Well, whether you are or not, you are new to us. If you would take your place in these hallowed halls, you must be willing and ready to undergo the most rigorous training. You must endure cuts and bruises beyond counting, and like as not far worse. A daunting prospect, I concede. But there is no other way if you mean to take to the Bloodsands one day. And why wouldn't you? Colosseum is only the most celebrated place of public entertainment in all of Ul'dah. Where else could a poor man amass a fortune so vast as to one day allow him to claim a seat on the syndicate? Ah, there's not an Ul'dah alive who wasn't inspired by the rise of the self-made man. And there is no truer embodiment of this than the gladiator who wins riches and fame with his sword. Throughout its long and storied history, this guild has nurtured countless champions. Our training methods are second to none, and our members ever strive to develop new techniques. If you desire true glory, to fight in triumph, amidst the roar of 10,000 voices, then this is where you belong, adventurer. Think of it. Think of your legacy, and if your soul stirs, join us. Let's see, time. I'll go and do this one. It should be pretty easy. Lulutsu wishes you to reaffirm your desire to join the Gladiators Guild. What will it be? Will you rise above the masses and inscribe your name in legend? Or will you resign yourself to mediocrity and die in obscurity? A decision you shan't regret. One moment. Make way for Sagacious Mountain. Fresh meat coming through. Now then, before your enrollment can be considered complete, you must present yourself to First Sword Milla. Seek her out and obtain her approval. Aye, I heard Lulutsu. So you're Sagacious Mountain. 'Tis a good, strong name. On behalf of the Gladiators Guild, allow me to welcome you. I am Milla, Guildmaster here. So you wish to study our arts. I presume you have your reasons for choosing the sword over all other weapons. Perhaps you think it easiest to learn. A sword is a simple weapon, but to wield a blade well is anything but simple. For every Colosseum champion to emerge from our ranks, there have been countless disappointments who failed to achieve greatness. Bear that in mind before you answer me, Sagacious, for I do not ask this question lightly. Have you the strength to live by the sword, and, if it be your fate, die by it? Have you the strength to live by the sword? Yes. Then welcome, Gladiator, to your new home. Let's not waste time, shall we? I would gauge your aptitude for the sword. Just outside the gates of Ul'dah, you'll find plenty of marmots, hornets, and shrews. Slay 3 of each and return here when finished. A simple task, but essential to your training nonetheless. Now, go! Why do I have these? So now we just need to kill some of these ads that she mentioned. We got the marmots. What else? None more here? Those are the only ones? Fair. Looked more like a Lalafell name. But I digress. So I could go back to the quicksand, but I want that to be kind of my stopping point for the night. There's those hornets. Oh, that guy is still alive. There, down there. Obviously, you can lay out your hotbar for whatever is the most comfortable for you. For me personally, I'm very used to basically progression skills going in that kind of square X circle kind of direction. That's what I'll be doing, just out of pure familiarity. So just like that, we've slain our marks. We will return to the Gladiators Guild to Milla. So one thing we could do is I could click return, and that will take me back to Ul'dah. However, that is now on a 900 second cooldown, so I probably will not be able to use that for the rest of the recording. That's what, like a 60 times 10, so that's what, a 15-minute cooldown? What's that? Experience earned when while below level 90 is dramatically increased. Okay. That's good to know. So we'll go and return to the Gladiators Guild. Return to Milla, see what she has to say. We will almost definitely level up to level 5 and unlock the next step. However, we will be saving that for next episode. I just wanted to get kind of an introduction going. Welcome back, Sagacious. I take it you've dispatched the beasts, and with ease. Rest assured there will be far greater challenges to come. If you wish to master the sword, you must test yourself against a wide variety of foes. To this end, I present to you this hunting log. It contains information on creatures ideal for a gladiator in training. You will doubtless gain valuable experience should you seek out and slay them. It is only with such practice that you will recognize and eliminate the deficiencies in your technique. Your training under me shall continue once the haft sits so snugly in your hand that you cannot imagine holding aught else. Until then, Sagacious. So we have to hit level 5 before we can do the... Oh, and we're level 5. And then we have the hunting log. The hunting log is very helpful. It's basically a way for you to get a lot of experience very easily, very early. Through levels 1 through 50, you have a bunch of different marks that you can hit up, and they will just give you more experience than they normally would. It's a very incredible way to level up. I don't know what all kinds of experience are boosted with the preferred world bonus. However, either way, it's a lot of experience, and it is very helpful. So I'm going to go ahead and attune to all of these different aetheryte shards, including the ones that we haven't really found yet. Obviously, I am not new to this game. As I've said, I do have another character. He's fully leveled. We do savage content, all that fun stuff. I will also be streaming some of that. However, I probably will not upload anything other than clears. So to that end, because I know where everything is, I'm just going to go ahead and attune to everything. Just because it's a nice little, it's nice to be able to fast travel throughout the city. Okay, I gotta change some settings. Just some general quality of life things. Like I don't like clicking on random people. Let's see. Still not like adept at navigating Ul'dah. It was not my starting place. I actually started in Gridania on my other character. So I'm very familiar with Gridania, and I still get a little lost in Ul'dah, and that's okay. A lot of the fun adventuring is getting a little lost along the way, in my opinion. And lastly, we want to get this, I believe it's the Alchemist's Guild. And you'll, obviously there's the very obvious to fast travel between all the different points of the city. But also, if you get all the Aethernet shards, you get something a little bit helpful. You've attuned to all the Aethernet shards in Ul'dah. The Gate of Nald, the Gate of Thal, the Gate of the Sultana, and the airship landing are now accessible as Aethernet destinations. So while they weren't there before, now that we've attuned to all of the Aethernet shards, we have some extra options. We can fast travel to just outside in Western Thanalan, and we can do the same for the 2 Central Thanalan exits, and we can go to the airship landing. So, for now, I'm going to go and return to the Adventurers Guild. We will finish this main story quest, and we will call it an episode. And then I will probably adjust my heads up to my HUD, because this is driving me nuts, not gonna lie. So next time you guys see me, the game will look very different. A little bit more in line with how it looks on my main. How was your tour of the city, Sagacious? Get lost, did you? A little bit. Aye, well, Ul'dah's a big place with lots to see and do, but wandering around aimlessly don't pay the bills. If you're serious about making a living here, you'll need to remember where things are. So when you go exploring, explore like you've got a purpose, eh? All right then. All that's left is for you to work hard, make money, and spend it here at the quicksand. And with that, I will be calling it an episode. This will be the start of Sagacious Mountain's journey. Um, I'm intending for this to be more or less a 100% playthrough. I will be doing all of the side quests, all of the important ones, all of the not important ones, all of them. Mainly so I can get a better feel for just the narrative as it's intended. I want to do side quests as they become available. So, for now though, Sagacious has joined the Gladiators Guild. Sorry, these classes becomes other names later on, so I had to kind of think about it for a little bit. But Sagacious has joined the Gladiators Guild. He's been familiarized with Momodi at the Quicksand, and she's going to be sort of guiding us on our beginnings of our journey through Ul'dah. I am extremely excited to continue to bring more content to you guys. Um, Final Fantasy XIV is a game that is very dear to me, so I would like to introduce it to as many people as I can. I'm aware I don't have too much of a reach right now, and that's okay. Um, I've got some friends who are interested in checking it out, and maybe I'll be able to pick up some new friends along the way. But for the meantime, me and Sagacious are going to head on out of here. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode. Peace.